Value stocks outperformed growth stocks by close to 11% in the past few weeks, one of the biggest periods of outperformance ever. Chinese stocks best day since April as stimulus calls grow. U.S. 10-year Treasury yield falls to 4.15%, the lowest level since early March. The Japanese yen has strengthened by 6.4% in July versus the dollar, and is now the strongest since March. S&P 500 semiconductor industry is now in bear market territory. On a total return basis, the Bloomberg Barclays U.S. Aggregate Bond Index is having its best month versus the S&P 500 since September 2023. Citi Economic Surprise Index rebounding in U.S. white, but falling in Eurozone blue. Year-on-year change in Employment Cost Index eased to plus 4.1% in second quarter 2024. In July, the ADP report shows that 122,000 new private sector jobs were added. This is fewer than the 150,000 jobs experts expected, and also less than the 155,000 jobs added in the previous month. For S&P 500 companies beating on earnings per share, they're outperforming the index, on average, by 1.5% the following day, best since second quarter of 2017. S&P 500 has already hit its high for 2024, cautions Bank of America. CrowdStrike has had an absolutely epic collapse, dropping more than 40% over the past 3 weeks. Wheat falls to lowest price since August 2020. Copper has now traded red in 11 of the last 12 days. Delinquency rates on office building loans hit 8.11%. The highest in more than a decade. U.S. Treasuries are set for their third consecutive monthly gain, the longest winning streak in 3 years. Soybean price falls to lowest level since October 2020. Crude oil falls to a 7-week low. Commercial property foreclosures jumped to more than $20 billion during the second quarter, the most in nearly a decade. The U.S. dollar Japanese yen pair has fallen through its 200-day moving average as the yen hits its strongest level against the US dollar since March. Gold is hovering around all-time highs. Over the last 30 years, the purchasing power of the U.S. consumer dollar has been cut in half due to inflation. At the same time, the S&P 500 has gained 960%, 8% per year, after adjusting for inflation. U.S. home prices hit another all-time high, rising 6% over the last year. Affordability remains near record lows. Global Central Bank update. The Bank of Japan hiked rates for the second time this year, 20 basis points, increased to 0.25%. This is their highest policy rate since 2008. A week ago, we saw the biggest one-day drop for the S&P 500 since December 2022, minus 2.3%, and the end of a 356 trading day run without a 2% decline. That was the longest streak without a big decline since 2007. 17% of 25 to 35-year-olds in the U.S. now live with their parents, the highest share since the period following the Great Depression in 1940. U.S. home prices hit another all-time high, rising 6% over the last year. Affordability remains near record lows. With the exception of Morgan Stanley, all the big banks are outperforming the S&P 500 by a wide margin over the past year. The Fed's fight against inflation is still not over. Nvidia, the third largest company in the world, is trading like a penny stock. Since its after-hours low seen just 18 hours ago, Nvidia has added $380 billion of market cap. Data center revenue grew 115% for AMD. Stock is up 6% after hours. Traffic continues to decline at Starbucks. Global transactions decreased 5% versus a year ago. Microsoft Intelligent Cloud revenue grew 19% year over year, now on a $114 billion annual run rate. Sophie's staggering membership growth continues, up 628% in just 4 years. PayPal added more new active accounts this quarter than any of the last 7 quarters, beat and raised expectations. Stock is up 8% this morning. Mercado Libre has grown its revenue at a 45% CAGR for 20 years. Current EV/EBIT is 36x. Meta God Candle, look at that explosion. Bitcoin is getting dumped. That's it for today. I hope it was useful. I'll see you guys again very, very soon. Later.